Broadcasting live from the Academy ruins on the plain of Dominaria. This is Tap Tap Concede. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's show. I'm James and I'm joined by this week by
Kathleen
and Cameron.
I pointed at them for anybody who's listening at home. We got a good show for you this week. We're going to be doing some Q&A. Whenever we do Q&As, I ask that over on Twitter at LRRMTG. So make sure to follow that channel or that account if you haven't already. And then that way in future episodes, you'll be able to ask us questions. But first, some housekeeping. Number one, this podcast is brought to you by CardKingdom.com/LRR. CardKingdom.com is a place where you can go and buy magic cards. Isn't that right, Kathleen?
It's right. It's a kingdom of cards. And
it's a place where you can go and buy magic card accessories. Isn't that right, Cam?
It is. It's really more of a mercantile kingdom, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair. So anyways, cardkingdom.com/LRR. That applies the affiliate code. It lets them know that we sent you there. They've been sponsoring this podcast along with our Thursday afternoon draft, along with our Friday evening Friday night paper fight. They've been great to us. We love them. We use them. And you should go check them out. And be sure at the very end of your order to say Loading Ready Run sent me button, please, and you will get a button. Currently, that button is moved to cheat step, but the buttons go quick. So it's Friday while we're recording this. You'll listen to it at earliest on Monday. Who knows? The buttons could be gone. I can't promise you anything. So we thank you, Card Kingdom, and of course Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. We couldn't do any of this without your support over at Patreon. So yeah, check it out. Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. All right, so before we get into the Crack-A-Pack, I really quickly want to talk about two things. One, Magic Fest Seattle. We are going to be there at the end, not the end of June, but in June. I think it's like the weekend of the 20th, 22nd. 20 to the 23rd, says Beej. I believe him. Myself and Cameron and Ben and Graham and Serge and Graham and Beej and Adam. I think I said somebody that...
You said Graham twice.
Oh.
We have a
and
second
Adam
Graham.
zeros.
No, we're not supposed to tell them about the second Graham. Shoot.
Graham
Anyways,
Prime and Graham.
those six of us plus Beej,
Everybody in this room except me.
who's going to be manning our table at Magic Fest Seattle, which means we're actually going to have merch to sell, which is really exciting.
In addition to that, Beej will also be available to do custom altars for you.
Oh, that's exciting.
By way of just simply scrolling on your card to maybe draw faces, I don't know.
Yeah,
fair.
like they're
And
not
also,
going to be good. I didn't guarantee any
It's
quality.
a little known fact that Beej is a professional tier magic card grader. So bring him your Power 9 in order to see if they're real or not, and he'll do the bend test on them.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. So at Magic Fest, we'll be doing, I think we're going to be doing a live Tap Tap Concede /Q&A. I think we're going to be doing our Thursday afternoon Lure MTG draft from the stage there. Should be a lot of fun. If you were at Vancouver, which I assume most of you weren't, but we did a really fun event called Draft with Lure, which went over really well. So we're going to try to do that again. And then we'll just be there all weekend playing games, side events. Most of us, I think, are going to check out the main event. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. You can pre-register. I don't know the website for CFB events. I think it's actually just cfbevents.com, but search CFB events and you'll find a link to it. You can pre-register. At the end of that registration process for any GP or at Magic Fest this year, I think there's a box at the end where you can put a little code. If you put LRR, that helps us out. It lets them know that, you're going and because you're fans of us. And that
We'll
would
get
be
that actual
super
website
great.
for you by the end of the episode. I'll look it up and I'll let Beej know what it is.
Perfect.
Also, I just want to clarify that we are going to be at Magic Fest Seattle. Beej will be at Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest Fest, which is actually a very small and exclusive con.
It's across.
Just our merch
It's across the road at our hotel in his room. There'll be Beej and a pineapple.
The pineapple is the international symbol of hospitality.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like pineapple.
That's why I gave you a pineapple. So Magic Fest, Seattle. You should be there. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm very sad I can't go.
Next up, War of the Spark nicknames. So last set, which was Ravnica Allegiance,
Yeah.
we did the nicknames via a subreddit. And overall, it went fairly well. I'm not going to say it went perfectly. There were some kinks, and we're not quite ready to just say, no, let's do something different. We want to try it out again. So I know that there are a few of you out there who weren't big fans of it. I'm sorry. I'm hoping that some of the things that we're doing to change it will alleviate some concerns. And if not, we'll re-examine again later this year for the next set. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to remain on Reddit. But what we're going to do is we're going to put Reddit, that subreddit, particular subreddit, in contest mode. And what contest mode does is it removes this. It removes the actual number of upvotes and downvotes a post has. It also completely randomizes the order in which you see entries in particular threads. So if, for instance, you go to Cam, name a card for More of the Spark.
Ral Zarek, Lightning Dude.
Cool. If you go to Ral Zarek's forum post, Reddit post in the subreddit, when you click it, you're going to get a list of everything that has been submitted for nicknames, but it's going to be in a completely random order. That was one of the big complaints, was the latest submissions came to the top. And those would generally get favorable reviews because they were right there when you logged in. Now, if I click on Ral Zarek, I'm going to get a completely different link than if Cameron clicked on Ral Zarek, which should help a lot. And then the other thing, as I said, is we're actually going to hide the number of upvotes. So you won't actually know which one is at the top and which one's at the bottom and what's in between, which we think is going to go a long way to actually helping this work really well. Because apart from basically just going back and doing it for ourselves again, we think this is a good way of doing it. The old way where we just opened up a Google form it just doesn't work. It's literally, I think, over 10,000 submissions, and it's just grueling, and it took longer than just writing them ourselves.
The loading time on that spreadsheet was abysmal.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like even on just because there's so much stuff on the spreadsheet, and it would just take. Yeah, and then it was very, 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 very hard.
Yeah.
And very slow.
So we're hoping this is going to work. And if it still kind of doesn't work for everybody, well, we can reevaluate. Luckily, nothing's set in stone. So by the time you hear this, the subreddit should be ready. We're using the same subreddit, but you can go to lrr.cc/war. Link is on the screen right now. Link will be in the description of the video. That will take you directly to the subreddit. It does, mean that you need a Reddit account to participate, but that is just sort of the price.
You needed a Gmail account before.
Yeah, it's just sort of the price of doing business, and we're going to see how it goes. So we're excited, and then you can look forward to that, probably not the next episode, but the episode after that. So there'll be one episode between the one that we're here now announcing and the actual nickname. So look forward to that in 2 weeks' time.
We'll remind you again as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be telling you on Twitter and the streams and stuff like that. So, all right. That does it for all of the little announcements.
I have an announcement.
Okay.
Oh,
James, you look very nice today.
Thank you.
yeah. Purple is or lavender is your color.
Yeah, is that a new shirt?
No, I've had it for a while.
Oh, well, I haven't seen it recently, so I forgot it existed.
Yeah.
I think you look great. Cameron,
you.
you also look great.
Oh, thank you. You look great as well, Kathleen.
I look okay.
Beej.
I am amazing.
Okay. I mean, I was going to say you look great, but you're kind of full of yourself, so I'm going to maybe take you down a peg or two.
I like Beej's confidence.
I need a new shirt.
This is the only one I have left. I've worn it for 6 days straight. Nobody said anything.
Please don't mail us new shirts.
All right.
It's true. Beach just breaks up the joints in his shirt with a ball-peen hammer every morning.
Jeez. Also gross. All right, let's crack a pack.
Yikes.
And then we're going to get to your Q&As. So, Kathleen, roll the dice.
Cameron, catch.
8.
Wheat.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeet. Oh, man, it's not English.
Ooh.
It looks like, so it's from Morton, Mail Time. And this is a pack of Planar Chaos? Yeah, Planar Chaos.
Dimensionnel.
Yeah.
Ooh, French
All
planar
Francais.
chaos. Well, Cameron, you speak some French, right?
I can read some French.
I mean, that's more than I can. I went through a basic Canadian education, which left me unilingual.
I was in my entire education was in French until grade 7.
All right.
I didn't pay attention then either.
So I believe this is Riverboa. Am I in the right spot here, Beej?
Further up.
Hmm?
This might be. I'm a little worried that it might not quite. Oh, go up higher. I'm sorry. Why is it not picking that up? Oh, okay. Sorry. I need to. So wait, what was the set again?
Planar Chaos.
Planar Chaos.
Yeah.
We might
No,
wanna-
sorry. This is Italian. Busta da 15 Calta.
Yeah.
Espelta.
We might need to cut this part out.
How far back is Planar Chaos?
It's from 2007.
Oh my God. Okay. I see Plane Chase.
Keep going.
Ice Age.
You'll get there. Well, you went way too far.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
If it's in chronological order and you've gone to Ice Age, you've gone far too way.
Oh, Time Spiral. Planar Chaos.
Yay!
Yay!
Hey, Meyerboa.
Meyerboa.
Damn it. I was so close. 1 and a green for a 2/1 snake. It has Swamp Walk. And for 1 green, you can regenerate Meyerboa.
Oh, that's actually pretty good, I
The
think.
card is sweet. It was in my Snake Mander deck when I used to have that thing. So, card's pretty good. I have 0 idea what this one is. Utopia Vow.
Ooh.
1 and a green, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Enchanted creature has tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Okay, this is a fascinating card.
Huh.
So it's an arrest. It locks down a creature, but it turns it into a mana dork.
Interesting.
And it's in green, which is not typically where you see the can't attack or block enchantment.
No.
That's kind of cool.
I feel like I would use this on an irrelevant creature of my own,
Yeah.
or just as removal.
Yeah, I mean, it can...
What was the green commander card that turned something into a basic forest?
Oh, I don't remember. But, yeah, I mean, basically, like, if you're playing... I think if you're playing, like, a mono-green commander deck, this actually feels like it could be kind of good because, yeah, green doesn't generally get this effect, so...
And it turns the big, like, splashy dork commanders into mana dorks.
Yeah, exactly, which is kind of legit.
Yeah, and then they have to figure out a way to get them back to their command zone.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't like if something has like an ability that just happens and they don't need to attack or block for it, that will still happen though.
Yep.
It's not foolproof.
Like, yeah, I think that's an interesting card.
Next up, we've got Veiling Oddity. 3 and a blue for a 2/3 illusion. It has Suspend 4 for 1 and a blue. When the last time counter is removed from Veiling Oddity, which is a great name, while it's removed from the game, creatures are unblockable this turn.
So you basically only ever want to cast this with Suspend, and then they have the most you see it coming unblockableness.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Doesn't seem very cool, but the art's neat.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 10.
Yeah, about right.
Sure. This guy's weird looking.
Rigid crusty.
Is it Kusite?
Kusite, I think.
I guess Rigid Kusite. For 1 black mana, you get a horror spell shaper for a 1/1. And for 1 and a black and tap, discard a card. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn.
That's
is
not worth it.
Yeah, this is
No.
the worst spell shaper ever. Remember when spell shapers had good ideas?
Yeah.
Or good abilities like bouncer?
Yeah, like even if you had some sort of payoff like madness or something like that, like I just would much rather feed it to literally anything else.
Yeah. I mean, again, pretty cool art. I dig it. We got a red card. Fury Charm, right. 1 in a red, instant. Choose 1, destroy target artifact, or target creature gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn, or remove 2 time counters from target permanent or suspended card. Seems okay. I mean,
it got reprinted in the first Modern Masters set.
yeah, I mean, any card that gives you those, like, options is never a bad thing.
Well, yeah, it can either be
so-
a combat trick or a shatter.
Yeah.
Those are fine.
But, yeah, they seem really good. Next up, we've got the Evolution Charm, so the green charm. For 1 and a green instant, choose one. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Or return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Or target creature gains flying until end of turn.
Since when does green give things flying? Nowadays, green gives things reach.
Yeah. I think I prefer the red charm over the green charm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess searching your library for a basic land card is pretty nifty, but
And the regrowth is good.
yeah. And I mean, like, I guess target creature gaining flying could just end the game, but
I mean, this is all like basically a third of a card, a third of a card, a third of a card
Sure.
stitched together.
Yep.
But I feel like the use case scenario to bring this one out of the sideboard or to bring a card like this out of the sideboard is better for the red one.
that's fair. Next up, another blue card. What is it? Reality Acid.
Whoa!
2 and a blue for an enchantment aura. It has enchant permanent and vanishing 3. When Reality Acid leaves play, enchanted permanent controller sacrifices it. So vanishing is this permanent comes into play with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it. When the last is removed, sacrifice it. So it is a very slow removal card.
Yeah.
And it looks like a DOC's album cover, which is also important. But maybe
It's weird conditional blue removal, so I guess it's like somewhat playable, but overall it seems kind of meh.
I don't know enough about this set to know if this was like, well, it stinks, but I'm playing it, or
Yeah.
oh, it
Like-
stinks.
3 turns is an awful lot of time for a card to do work.
Yeah. Like, if your best play is to try to get rid of their bomb with this card, you
Yeah,
still
if I-
have to deal with it for 3 extra turns, so
Yeah, that's a long time.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you did just pull up a card though that allows you to pull time counters off of stuff, right?
Sure.
That's
yeah.
So
True.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hasten the vanishing, then it becomes a little bit better. But that means you're now requiring 2 cards and still a little bit of time to get rid of 1
And
card.
still a
so,
turn.
yeah, not that great.
Don't like it.
Next up, we got this black thing called the Deadly Grub. 2 and a black for a 3/1. It's an insect. It has vanishing 3, so you know that this thing is going to go away. When Deadly Grub is put into a graveyard from play, if it had no time counters on it, put a 6/1 green insect creature token into play with this creature can't be the target of spells or abilities.
So Shroud.
This sucks.
This does suck.
Yeah.
3/1s suck.
Especially for 3.
Especially for 3, and 6/1s without any other sort of evasion other than it can't be the target of spells or
But you
ability.
can't-
It just still means you can block it with a 1/1 and it dies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no,
Boo.
it's a terrible card.
F.
F minus. Gossamer Phantasm. This art is legit. 1 and a blue for an illusion. It is a 2/1. It has flying, and it has the sort of the de facto illusion, which is when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. This card seems sweet.
Yeah, a Welkin turn that can block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I think this is like the best card of the pack so far.
probably.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I like it. We got a green. Oh, how do you pronounce this one? Fahadia Seer. 1 and a green. For 1/1, Human Shaman. Tap, draw a card and reveal it. If it isn't a land, discard it.
No.
I mean,
It's
this could
weird
have some
blue.
utility in like some kind of
dredge or
reanimator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird blue. It's like green's version of looting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everything's on the color pie. Everything color
Yeah,
pie is
that's-
off in this set. I forgot, which is why I was like, wow, they
Because
don't.
you're going to see this next card, which is literally just Giant Growth in red.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Which is Brute Force, 1 red mana, instant target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It is literally Giant Growth, but in red. That's kind of what the set was all about, which is kind of cool. Next, we are into the uncommons. We have the Aether Membrane. Oops. We have the Aether Membrane. For 1 red, you get a wall, an 0/5 wall with Defender. Aether Membrane can block as though it had flying, so it has reach.
Okay.
Whenever it blocks a creature, return that creature to its owner's hand at the end of combat.
You know,
Oh.
when I draft red, this is exactly what I want to do with my 3rd turn.
Yeah,
Is play an 05.
And like a hard 3rd turn red cast with that double red.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with this card? It's terrible.
The color pie is all mixed up here.
Yeah, no, bad card. Let's see if the green
I mean,
does
I kind
anything
of like
better.
as like you can't attack me,
Yeah.
right?
Next up, we've got Anna Battle Mage, 2 and a green for a human wizard. It's a 2/2. It has Kicker. of either 2 and a blue and or 1 and a black. If the 2 and a blue is paid, target player discards 3 cards.
That's not okay.
It's pretty interesting.
It's not bad.
And if the black kicker was paid, tap target untap creature, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to its controller, which is a very weird ability.
I remember like the Volvers from Invasion Block. And this was what the wedges were originally called.
Right.
The green one was Ana.
Yeah.
And then there was Seta, Dega, Necra, and
I don't remember.
I don't remember them
Oh,
all.
right, yeah.
But this was like, I remember when Cons was coming out, people were like, well, actually, Sultai is properly called Ana.
And then everybody was like, Sultai.
Yeah.
Cool.
This card seems kind of neat. I don't. The
I mean,
black
a 2/2
kicker
for
cost.
3 as its base thing, or like you don't.
It's
really,
bad. No, you never.
don't want to cast this.
You always want to kick it, and the blue kick seems better than the black kick.
Well,
Discarding 3 cards is pretty big game. I mean, you're doing it. The problem is that the earliest you're doing it is probably
turn 5,
5
maybe
if you're lucky, if you have a ramp.
And then do they have 3 cards in hand still?
They could. I mean, it's backbreaking if they have exactly 3. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely. It feels
It's modal.
okay. Yeah.
And what I mean, the black ability is like not as good. But imagine, like, join me. I've booked 3 tickets to Magical Christmas Land. Big board stalemate.
Yeah.
But they got like a big chumpery doodle doo that is just basically shutting down your whole team. You tap that guy, he deals like 5 damage or whatever like that to his controller. Then you just have to swing in. You can make a bunch of bad attacks and maybe only you can just punch through for your last bit of damage.
Yeah, maybe this guy's sometimes a lava axe.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
All right, 2 more cards. We've got the blue Sarah Angel,
Ooh,
which
Sarah
is the
Sphinx.
Sarah Sphinx. 3 blue, 4/4 flying vigilance Sphinx.
I'm taking that. That's just good.
Yep. It's interesting that it's rare.
Yeah.
But there it is.
I
The
mean-
blue Sarah Angel.
Sarah Angel was rare in white in several core sets.
Yeah, but it went down to uncommon. So I
Yeah.
mean, back then, who knows? Anyways, and we have one more blue rare, which is the Aeon Chronicler. 3 blue for a star avatar. Power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in your hand. You suspend X, X 3 and a blue. X can't be 0. And whenever a time counter is removed from Aeon Chronicler, while it's removed from the game, you draw a card. This is a fascinating card.
Yeah, well, I mean, you suspend it for 5, and then
So 9 mana,
no, well,
No, for
or
2.
for
yeah.
2,
You
Yeah.
get to draw a card.
you get to draw 2 cards, right?
Yeah, on your upkeep. I mean, that's kind of interesting.
How many cards do you have hanging around in your hand when you can cast a 5-drop or maybe a 6-drop, right?
Well, this guy helps you build your hand
So
back up.
I guess he's
I remember seeing this in kind of like very like dollar kind of commander cards. Or commander
It
decks.
seems cool.
I'm taking the Sphinx.
Oh, I think the Sphinx is definitely the correct play.
Yeah, Sphinx was pretty good. So was, I mean, like, this is a pretty blue heavy pack with the Sphinx, the Sarah Angel, and this guy right here. So pretty legit. Cool pack.
Yeah.
All
okay,
right.
Neat. Ooh, what is Sarah Sphinx in Italian? Sfinge di Sera.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
said it was French before. It was actually Italian. Nobody here knows how to speak anything but English. That's not true.
Nope.
All right. So we had said we were going to do a Q&A, and boy, do I have a lot of Qs. So let's try to get through as many of these as quickly as possible. For the Brewers, which EDH deck do you most want to build? If not EDH players, what other deck maybe? Cam?
I don't really play EDH, but the one deck I've always wanted to pull together is the blue Modern Taking Turns deck that just loses,
Okay.
but takes forever to do it.
Fair.
I appreciate that.
Kathleen?
I am honestly not much of a brewer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not much of a brewer, but I've definitely I do feel like I should probably make another commander deck at some point. I've literally only ever made one commander deck. It was like God, coming up on 10 years ago now. and it was the Snake Mander deck, and it was bad. I'd like to actually make a good deck. Let me know in the suggestions in the comments what I should make. How close do you guys follow Magic's story? And is there a favorite short story or even block narrative you hold dear? I do not.
I'm a keen follower of the Magic story because it impacts my job, but also because it's fun and it's good. And I think Yahenni is great. They are a delight. And I really enjoyed that whole story arc with Yahenni.
I remember really enjoying the Gitrog horror story.
Oh, yeah, that was actually really good. Even as somebody who does not follow the stories, that was pretty good. All right, next up is which Planeswalker has the best voice line / which is your favorite new voice line from War of the Spark? That's I referencing Arena. So
everybody's so Kiora actually is quite jaunty. I don't remember exactly what Kiora says, but she's just like me, and it's very her, and I like it a lot.
I can't remember which Planeswalker, but one of them says, "If you see any good plants, let me know," and that just made me laugh. I can't remember which one said that. I assume one of the green ones, but I don't remember who.
I have not been paying that close attention, actually. I just remember being like, well, that's not how Sorin sounded in my head.
I like how Davriel sounds.
Yeah, he's very, oh, milady. Right. Tips mask.
I don't know. Maybe I have a thing for like sort of like arrogant black planeswalkers and characters. I just talked about Yahenni.
Yeah,
So.
that's fair. I do like that Davriel apparently has like 1,000 pacts with various demons.
Damn.
That can't be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Davriel contract
Lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say rogue contract striker or something like that. Finesser. I should read that book.
All right, next up, what about your favorite format to play? Limited. Specifically, best of one in Arena.
Really? That's your favorite format?
100% that is my favorite format right now.
Interesting.
I really enjoyed, I like best of 3, but yeah, limited draft.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like the majority of people around here. If you did not know this already, most of you I'm sure do. Majority of us are limited players around these parts. So, what song should the War of the Spark trailer be remixed with next? I haven't actually seen any of the remixes, so I don't know which ones it has been. But any ideas for a good song?
Look at this graph. I mean, what are the other classic AMV songs? Dragula?
Ooh.
The remix of Dragula?
I mean, Du Hast, some sort of Rammstein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Rammsteins, Engel.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, Engel is probably better, yeah.
Surely something that is like, what about, I feel like there's got to be a Tool song that works. Like, that's just like over the top. And just like something very intense and emotional. And this is not the kind of music I normally listen to.
Push It.
Yeah. What about All My Friends by LCD Sound System?
Beach, did you have an answer?
The Bare Necessities.
Ooh.
The Bare Necessities.
The Bare Necessities. I love it.
But sung the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple bare necessity.
All right, so with Nicol Bolas in the prison realm, who do you think the new big bad of the multiverse will be?
I've got theories.
Okay.
All right, let's all go into Kathleen's fan theories. All right, obviously our next big bad is going to be hunting down Tezzeret, who's probably going to go back for Erexia, just because I think that's been pretty accurately, like that was like telegraphed apparently in the story when they were like, Tezzeret, we're shutting down the planar bridge. And he's like, I hope you get rid of Bolas because then no one will be able to stop me. And then like buggered off, did his thing. So Tezzeret's probably the next big bad. Then we'll probably have to go back to New Phyrexia, which is going to be cool as hell. And I'm excited for that. And then in before Nicol Bolas somehow regains his memory in the prison realm, but comes back different. Or is he? ? Who knows? I think that's great. Wizards, I don't even care if you didn't think of that. You can use it.
All right.
I do like the idea that you've got like the lieutenant is going to be the big bad now. That's very Tolkien-y,
Yeah.
right? Like after they locked away Morgoth Bogliar in the whatever the alternate dimension, in the Silmarillion. You know, then you had like this random weirdo sub guy named Sauron.
Yeah.
Who
Right.
was left over. He was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that scamp will get up to no good
I mean,
at some point.
we might not go directly back to New Phyrexia.
I don't think we will. I could see it happening soon. I would like to see.
I could see it happening in the same standard rotation.
Yeah. I'd like to see like a new big bad as well, like somebody we haven't met before. Like it feels like especially sort of at the like literally physical size that Nicol Bolas and say
The Eldrazi.
the Eldrazi and
right,
stuff,
they're
like
very like physically
they're just
imposing
physically big and imposing, and like that would be pretty cool. I'd like to see something like that.
I feel like with all like the wrapping up of plot points, the next Magic set I feel like is ripe for we've never been here before. Maybe a couple of planeswalkers that had small roles in War of the Sparker appeared, are here. They're doing a thing. They meet a thing. Maybe they solve that thing, and it's got sort of like a meanwhile elsewhere in the
Right.
multiverse,
Yeah,
smaller evils are happening.
Right.
Yeah, you've got the Avengers of the Gatewatch, and then maybe you could have like some of the other planeswalkers form the Invisibles. Or
Yeah.
something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next question here is War of the Spark draft a good experience for new players?
No.
In franchise players?
Yes.
And then this person, I'm curious. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's a bit of a one-way conversation, but they say I think no to both. But be curious to know what you all think. I'd be curious to know why you think it's not good for in franchise players, because I
It's
think
sick
it
as
is.
hell.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best draft environments I've played in a long time.
It feels very powerful.
Yeah,
It is very
it's
powerful.
incredibly powerful. It has made me think more than I have ever thought while playing the game in a while. I don't remember the last time I've just really been stuck on a board state, but also enjoyed it. But yeah, no, it's not a good place for new players, which is always awkward, right? Like, concessions have to be made. Not every set can be perfect for both.
Yeah. That's what
and
the core sets
That's
are
what the
for.
core sets are for, and we get that in a few months. So
My very preliminary War of the Spark thoughts are, one, this is the most stressful Magic format I've ever played. Because literally somebody's just like, bomb, totally changes the game. My plans, right? And then you're like, bomb, and you're like, nah, and then they're like, bomb, and you're like, whoa, I need like a cigarette, but not actually after you play a game, right? Sometimes it's very intense. But what I like about it is that, like, in the couple of drafts I've done, people are like, oh, that card's not good, and that card's not good, but that card's good. And it turns out they're all good in their own weird situational way. I saw I saw Caleb Durdenwald streaming last night. He was playing against somebody who had Huatley out as a planeswalker, which, as we know, is not like a very high
it's a pretty
pick.
low tier one
Except
of the
he'd put
planeswalkers.
together a deck of like things with huge butts. So he had like Charity Extractors and the 2/5s, and it was
Oh,
brutal.
right. Yeah. Charity Extractor would be a beating.
Yeah, and like Caleb had a ridiculous blue-white deck, so he won anyhow. But it was very close, right? And so here's the deal: like, there's these cards that don't look great, but like, there's enough to there's all of these weird build-arounds that you can just go for. And like, I was drafting, and I was like, oh, I've got the Sorin's Thirst or whatever, the 2 black removal spell, because I'm
Yep.
heavy blue-black. People are like, no, that's no good. And I ended up boarding it in, and it was great because my opponent had creatures with 2 toughness. And it was actually good against like some of the key pieces of their deck. So like, there's always a use for something. It's a very well-designed set.
Nice. This is kind of an interesting question. How has Magic changed for you in the past few years? Cam?
Well, I went from playing Magic in like 94, 95 and putting together terrible decks and to putting together terrible decks now. But now I draft.
All right.
That's how it's changed, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm stuck in a rut.
Like, it's
A Magic rut.
I mean, Magic is definitely. I definitely spend more time. I think this is true for most of us. Thinking, talking, and creating Magic content. Like thinking and talking about Magic and creating Magic content, than maybe we do playing Magic content. Arena has definitely helped sway that, I think, back a little bit. I would say before Arena, I would say the few years leading up to Arena was the least I'd played Magic since we came back to the game in 2010 or whatever it was. I just sort of stopped playing not altogether, but almost entirely on my own. I'd still draft for, I'd still stream it and I'd still do drafts here at the office, but that was kind of it. Arena has definitely helped me bring me back into the game, which has been great. But Magic it's definitely different when it's your job, right? Mm-hmm. And Kathleen, I know you can talk to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I had a significant life-changing event, I would say 3.5 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And I don't play as much Magic as I used to. Please release Arena on Mac, by the way.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We have one PC in our house, and it's always being used by the other person who also plays Arena on it. But I really like Magic. Magic is good. Magic has gotten very good in the past couple years, and I feel the itch to play more frequently than before because the formats are fun, and like especially this whole Ravnica block's been really good, and Dominaria was really good.
I agree. I guess now that I've had a moment to think about it, I can say that I've stopped collecting cards.
Oh, yes.
In the last few years.
Yep.
I used to just bring all my cards home, bring all my draft decks home, and just keep piles and piles of Magic, and I've stopped doing that because I realized I don't want them.
Yep. I still have in my closet entirely just because I'm lazy. I have probably 3-4 column long boxes worth of cards that probably have essentially no value. I have a couple cards and sealed product that are either I keep for sentimental reasons or because I know they're probably going to be worth something in the future. And then that's it. That's all I have anymore. Like I have no trade binder. I sold off all my valuable cards years ago. Yeah, I definitely do not keep a collection anymore. So, all right, next question here. Getting back on the Arena thing. Favorite thing about Arena?
Everything. It's so good.
It's the easiest, fastest, and most fun way to play Magic.
Yeah, they've made it very seamless to just be like, you know what? I feel like doing a draft.
Yes.
I'm drafting.
And that's the big thing is like when we first came back to the game and Mitgo was your only option before leagues were a thing. If you wanted a draft, you had to invest at least, if you wanted to actually sit down and be able to play all 3 rounds, you were investing 2 hours of your time. Because not only were you drafting slowly with humans over the course of a 15-minute period, and then you'd have a 15-minute deck building time, which at least one person would take the full amount of time for, and then you would have 3 50-minute rounds. At least one of each of those matches were going to go to time, which means every round went for 50 minutes, and you had to wait. It sucked. Yeah, it was horrible. It was a terrible experience, and when they introduced leagues on Mitgo, that was life-changing.
Do you remember the limited resources when they were just people were mad that they wouldn't be not mad. People were concerned that they wouldn't be playing against the people they had drafted against. Yeah. And LSV was just it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. No.
Yeah. And I think I would love to see human to human drafting on Arena at some point.
Yes, I would too.
I think I would still probably draft the bots more often than I would draft with humans, but I would love the option to. And not only random, but I would love the ability for 8 friends to get together on Arena and be like, hey, let's do a draft.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
And we all jump into this pre-made thing that exists in the client and where it's just join this game with this password. And when all 8 of you are there, it fires. And now you get to play games. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That's the kind of thing that I would love to see in Arena. But Arena has made Magic more accessible than ever before, and that's good.
I would like to see human drafters in Arena, just because sometimes with the bots over or undervaluing certain cards, it leads to a distortion of the limited format. Like how you could always get the Gates deck in Allegiance, but you couldn't get it in real life, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky things where it's with enough time, I think you could make the bots work really well, but by the time you have the information needed to do that, the format's moved on. By which I mean the format is now outdated and we're drafting the next set. I think
it's not a challenge I envy.
No, not at all. But it's great. I love it. Dominaria versus War. Which draft format did you like better? War. 100% War.
I haven't done enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
No opinion.
All right. Next up. If there is there a tribe that you love the design and flavor of that you don't play because it isn't strong enough?
Elementals from Lorwyn Shadowmoor. I love the look of them. I loved their abilities, and there's like 2 good ones. The red-black elementals were so cool looking.
Any ideas, Kathleen?
I'm thinking about all the tribes. But I don't play because they're not good enough. All the tribes I like are good. Like...
Fair.
Make even more powerful vampires, please.
Fair.
Make more red vampires, actually. Red vampires are sort of underappreciated. Like
I agree.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're going to build a multicolored vampire deck, first of all, it's probably going to be mostly black, but you're going to go white-black at this point, not red-black.
I mean, I would just go Mardu. All right. Let's get a couple more here. It's going to be a shorter podcast today, but that's fine. Given the success of the War of the Spark trailer, what's your take as entertainers if Hasbro decided to do something longer, say a Netflix series, anime, stop motion, big budget Hollywood flop?
Well, I mean, they already have a movie development deal.
They have a movie development
with
deal,
Netflix, right?
Not with no, I don't think with Netflix. I think it was with one of the bigger studios. I don't know. I mean, clearly they are nowhere near production on that, but it was optioned, so it's out there. I would love to see, I think the best format for this would be honestly an animated cartoon about planeswalkers doing their thing.
Yeah, like you follow the adventures of Teo Lightshield, new planeswalker, as he discovers the secrets of the multiverse. Like, we have that character now.
Yeah,
right?
You're a planeswalker, Teo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's...
he meets exciting people, solves problems on different planes.
But he's ruthlessly taken advantage of by that darned Nicol Bolas who tricks him.
And then at the end of every episode, the Littlest Hobo theme plays.
Maybe tomorrow I'll get to.
Thanks, Beej.
Nice.
I still don't like the shredded dog. That's weird.
God, that card's good though. Mo is
he's
super
great.
good.
But it's so weird. I don't like the dog is ripped.
That's fair.
I mean, dogs can get ripped.
Yeah, ripped dogs. It's a thing. All right, next question. If you had the time or money, what format style do you wish you could play? Canadian Highlander.
Yeah.
It's the local format of choice. A lot of the guys in the office play it. It's the big thing at YJ.
It looks so sweet whenever I watch one of our streams.
Yeah, it's always really fascinating to me. But it's expensive, and it's something that I would want to sink time into. Both those things I would need.
You need time to make yourself good at Highlander, I think. Because, it's not necessarily just, with a draft, you learn the draft environment gradually as everybody else does. But, you don't have to, really commit yourself to doing, hours and hours of drafting a week. You can just draft a bit. But with Highlander, I feel like it's not necessarily just let's play some Highlander. It's just here is my finely tuned weapon. Right. I know all its in and outs. I know how to, I can disassemble and reassemble and clean it in, under a minute or something like that.
Right. And, the deck I would want to put together in Highlander is still Mono Grixis 2-for-1s. Right? Just the Snapcaster Mage, Vendilion and Clique. Cruel Ultimatum style deck.
So much value.
Yeah, just everything is a 2-for-1 in Grixis. But I would want to be better at playing Magic before committing to that.
Well, I think it would make you better at playing Magic, though.
I think it would make me feel stupid. Right? When my head already swims playing Aristocrats, and Aristocrats is notoriously a complex deck. But until I can post numbers with it, it's the deck I have, and I would want to be better at it, right?
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to do one more question because these two have a stream to get to soon, and I don't want to hold them up. And this is a really interesting question. Oh, no, where'd it go? No. Come back. There it is. Do you think it would be interesting or healthy for R&D to release information on how many iterations a card mechanic went through and the summary of each of those changes?
No.
Interesting, yes. Healthy, no. I don't think at all.
No, I don't think anyone needs the discourse around. Well, clearly this mechanic reached its zenith on its second iteration, and then just got turned into garbage after that.
Yeah.
What was R&D thinking?
Yeah, I think the general public would tear R&D apart seeing that kind of thing. However, it would be interesting. Like it's hard to argue against that. Like, I would love to know, Jace the Mind Sculptor. How did that card start?
Right.
Where did it start, and how did it get to where it ended? And a bunch of cards like that could be fascinating. Same with mechanics as well, right? Like, I'd love to know, what's a mechanic? I don't know.
Proliferate.
That's actually the exact mechanic I was thinking of. How did that one start? Like, and where did it go? And did you ever take it too far? Because that's what I'm curious about. Is like, this is where you settled. I'm curious what one step further was. Right. Like, where was like no, this is too much. We have to take a step back.
Yeah, was Proliferate designed to match the flavor of the Phyrexians?
Yeah.
Like, so it was sort of like, and then they were like, okay, now we'll figure out the mechanics. Or they were just like, oh, how cool would it be to be able to like move counters and have them keep going, and then we'll figure out how that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I would like to see that breakdown for like 1 or 2 cards, maybe just like 1 card a set. Like, hey, here's Bolus's Citadel, which is a huge stonking bomb.
Yeah.
It's and it can dramatically swing a game. Was it always like this? And they were just like, wow, that's great. Or more realistically, what did it like? Did it cost more? Did it cost less? How did they work out this paying life thing? Like, why did they say, oh, maybe that's too good, or oh, that's not good enough? We want something really splashy for Bolus, right?
For Bolus's Citadel, right? Especially considering that you're starting with the template of something like Ad Nauseam, right? Like, how do you make that into an artifact in a way that's appreciably different from Ad Nauseam,
right?
And interesting.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, no, I think that was an interesting question. So thank you for asking it. And thanks to everybody else who submitted questions today. A reminder that we do that over at twitter.com/LRRMTG. Follow that account if you want a chance to ask questions in the future. There were a lot of questions we weren't able to get to today. I apologize, but maybe next time. So before we wrap up, a quick reminder that, yes, we will be at Magic Fest Seattle in June at my.cfbevents.com.
And then, like, the first thing you see there is Seattle, and then you can register from there.
Nice.
When you register, you can be like, I'm going just for Loading Ready Run.
Yeah, use the code LRR. It'll let them know that we sent you there, and that would be very beneficial to us. So thank you for doing so.
Yeah. Don't forget our merch booth when you're there. I believe Beej will be selling spaghetti and blankets.
I will indeed.
And of course, we're doing the War of the Spark nickname episode in a few weeks. So lrr.cc/war, that will take you to the subreddit. If you didn't hear the big explanation earlier, rewind the podcast. I talked about it at the start. And you can figure out all that information there. Thanks again to guardkingdom.com/LRR for sponsoring this podcast.
They're a kingdom of cards.
They are a kingdom of cards. And
I suggest they're more of a Scandinavian merchant republic at this point.
Fair. Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. Couldn't do any of this without your support over there. So thank you from all of us to all of you. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. It was a lot of fun. Did you have fun, Cameron and Kathleen?
We did.
Honk noise.
Hooray!